Welcome to this tutorial on Kubernetes resource limits. In this video, we'll explore how to set maximum CPU and memory boundaries for your containers. Resource limits are a fundamental concept that helps you maintain cluster stability and prevent resource exhaustion. Let's dive in and learn how to configure these essential constraints. Resource limits define the maximum amount of CPU and memory that a container can consume in your Kubernetes cluster. Think of them as a ceiling or upper boundary that prevents any single container from using unlimited resources. When you set a limit, you're essentially telling Kubernetes that this is the absolute maximum this container is allowed to use, no matter what. This is different from resource requests, which specify the minimum guaranteed resources. Limits act as a protective measure to ensure one application doesn't monopolize all available cluster resources. There are 4 critical reasons to use resource limits in your Kubernetes deployments. First, they prevent resource hogging by stopping one container from consuming all node resources and starving other applications. Second, they provide cost control by helping you avoid unexpected resource consumption that could lead to higher cloud bills. Third, they ensure fair resource sharing across all your workloads, creating an equitable distribution of compute power. Finally, they enhance stability and security by protecting your cluster from runaway processes or memory leaks that could destabilize the entire system. Let's look at how to set CPU limits in Kubernetes. CPU is measured in cores, and you can express limits in 2 ways. You can use millicores, indicated by the letter M, where 1,000 millicores equals 1 CPU core. For example, 500 M means half a CPU core, and 1,000 M equals 1 full core. Alternatively, you can use whole numbers like 1 or 2 to represent full CPU cores. Under the Resources section of your container specification, you define limits, then specify the CPU value. This tells Kubernetes the maximum CPU this container is allowed to consume. Memory limits work similarly to CPU limits, but use different units of measurement. In Kubernetes, memory is typically measured in megabytes, abbreviated as ME, or gigabytes, abbreviated as GI. A megabyte is slightly larger than a megabyte, and a gigabyte is slightly larger than a gigabyte. For example, you might set a limit of 512 megabytes for a small application, 1 gigabyte for a medium workload, or 2,048 megabytes, which equals 2 gigabytes, for larger applications. Just like CPU, you specify these under the Resources Limits section of your container configuration. Here's a complete example of a pod specification with resource limits. You start with the API version and kind, which define this as a pod resource. In the metadata section, you give your pod a name, like Resource Limited Pod. Under the spec section, you define your container's array. Each container has a name, an image to run, and most importantly, a resources section. Inside resources, you define limits with both CPU and memory values. In this example, we're limiting the container to 1 CPU core and 512 megabytes of memory. This complete configuration ensures your container operates within defined boundaries. Understanding what happens when a container exceeds its limits is crucial. CPU and memory behave very differently in these scenarios. When a container tries to use more CPU than its limit allows, Kubernetes throttles the container, slowing it down to stay within the specified boundary. The container continues running, but at reduced speed. However, memory limits work differently. When a container exceeds its memory limit, Kubernetes terminates the container immediately with an out-of-memory-killed error, commonly abbreviated as OOMKilled. The container is forcefully stopped to prevent it from consuming memory needed by other applications. This difference in behavior is important when designing your applications and setting appropriate limits. Let's wrap up with 4 essential best practices for setting resource limits. First, always set limits based on actual usage patterns rather than guessing. Monitor your applications in real environments to understand their true resource needs. Second, monitor resource consumption regularly using tools like Prometheus or Kubernetes Metrics Server to track how your containers behave over time. Third, start conservative with your limits and adjust based on collected metrics. It's better to begin with slightly higher limits and reduce them as you gain confidence. Finally, combine limits with requests for optimal results. Requests ensure your containers get minimum guaranteed resources, while limits prevent them from using too much. Together, they create a balanced resource management strategy that keeps your cluster stable and efficient.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.